welcome back to another episode of the Media Mania Podcast. I'm your host, as always, the Media Maverick, Mike Bodie. And tonight we have a very special guest joining us from the world of indie wrestling and beyond. A man who's made a name for himself, both in the ring and online, as a master storyteller. He's none other than the collector, Deuce Ramos. Deuce, welcome to the show.
Thank you. The well, I mean, the pleasure is all mine because I'm gonna grace you with my presence, with
Mm,
a money dropping presence.
okay. So, of course, you know what my first question most likely is going to be. How did the collector come to be? Has he always been the collector, or did you just discover yourself?
Listen, I was always raised. I was born with a silver spoon fed in my mouth. I come from a very rich, intelligent family. So, coming from Stamford, Connecticut, Deuce Ramos has always been Deuce Ramos. He's never not had money. So, when I wanted to grace my presence to these ignoramus, it was just a switch that I had to turn on.
So, when you're at a show or when you're doing a promo video, do you ever break character behind the scenes, or is it full time the collector when you're working?
Do I look like I break the behind the scenes? Do I look like I care about what other people say? Do I look like I care if I hurt their little feelings? No. I'm always me, 100% of the time. Even when I'm kissing my woman, I still am Deuce Ramos.
Okay, okay. So, how did you come up with the name the collector? Like did you take it from like you have like influence that made that made you make that character, or did you just it come to mind without just you just thought of it out of the blue?
Once again, the collector is me. I collect money. I said, huh, how ironic. A collector. Now I'm collecting gold for my team. I'm collecting opportunities for my team. I'm collecting everything and not just like action figures like you collect, obviously. You want to be like us so bad that you collect action figures. Of course. Of course.
I do. I collect stuff. I do. So I guess you could say I'm a bit of a collector myself.
No, 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 no. You'll never be me. Don't even try. I come from money. You come from where? Where are you from again?
I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. Country music capital.
The only great country music that comes out of there is Heartbreak. But looking at you, you understand what that's all about. The best thing you've ever probably had is a participation trophy in the volunteer state. How ironic.
All right, all right, all right. Come on my show, and you wanna you wanna shoot, cowboy.
It's always loaded with lots and lots of ammo. What can I say?
So, what first drew you to professional wrestling, and who were your biggest early influences in the ring?
When I was growing up, I saw my uncle, Steve Mack, Monster Mac, part of the Hit Squad, legendary tag team, part of the original ROH. Then, when I met my woman, I met Jay Lion, consider him family. Then, when I was growing up, I had a cousin. We always loved to wrestle, even when our grandmother told us not to, but once again, who cares what she says? Anyways, it was
Mm-hmm.
always something in our blood that we wanted to do. And growing up, I saw the likes of MJF, Eddie Guerrero, Triple H, CM Punk. So when you say shoot, that's all I know because I grew up on CM Punk.
You stupid old man. I'm a snake.
I love snakes. I love collecting snakes. So I can put you in a tank and just look at you.
Okay. So, what is the craziest or funniest thing that's happened while managing a client during a match or a segment?
Probably nothing. Because when you're messing with me, I'm always very serious. I'm always about the business. If you want to make fun, you leave my tutelage. There was one guy that I had to kick to the curb because he thought this was all fun and games. He wanted to, as Jim Cornette says, my inspiration, he wanted to play wrestler, not be a wrestler.
Okay. So, are there any dream wrestlers you love to manage or a storyline you'd like to be a part of?
Dream wrestlers that I would love to manage.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that draws money. You, like I said before, you'll catch me at the casino. You'll catch me drinking some whiskey. I'm all about the money. I never drink something poor like you probably do with Coca-Cola or something. And I never bet on the odds. I always bet in the favorable. And that's who I am and who I make other wrestlers be. You see, there is one guy. There is one guy. I would love to manage MJF, but
Mm.
let's go a little lower than that. I would love to manage. Do you know anything about H Wrestling?
House of Glory?
Yes. I would
I
love,
do.
love to manage Darren Richardson. Look at him. He draws money. Him, Charles Mason, one of them, I would love to manage. But
So
then again,
no
nobody.
like Zilla, no like Zilla Fatu.
Listen, I'm a fan of his father, but. And I met Zilla, but I need money. Booker T sees that, Zilla doesn't draw money. Why do you think he bullies Zilla? It's
If he
easy because the money draws.
if he wouldn't have draw, why do you have all these promotions that are just lining up to book him like Fourth Rope, House of Glory? Hell, even Booker T's had him on his reality of wrestling.
Listen, once again, at the end of the day, they can give him a little bit of money, but if it was Charles Mason, they'll give him millions of dollars. If it was Darren Richardson, millions of dollars. Why? Because they are names that everybody should know about. Once again, I love Zilla. The main one is the best one. I'll give it there. Better than Roman Reigns.
Better than
But
Roman.
if I had to align myself with someone, Charles Mason or Darren Richardson.
Okay. So, how do you showcase your work as a manager, valet on social media while keeping the mystique of the collector? Like, what do you do to keep yourself in that spotlight on social media?
How do I keep myself in the spotlight? I was born in it. Like Bane said, you're scared of the darkness? I was born in it. See, people melt in the spotlight. I was forged to be in the spotlight.
Okay.
I was given money to build myself up, and that money doubled, tripled, quadrupled. I love the
So,
spotlight, so
okay.
I'll let you speak. Hold on. Realistically, the spotlight on social media is easy game. You Listen, I'll give props where props is due. Look at what you're doing. It's an easy game. Someone like a chump like yourself can do. So,
A
you know.
game, a game. Well, you want to bring up games? This is my game, and everyone is always saying whose game it is.
If you think so highly about yourself, maybe one time I'll fly you out to New York, let you watch a show, and probably it'll go easy for you. Probably. But that's up to my God.
Yes, your Oni God. Yes, I've had the pleasure of speaking with him on my show. I've also had the pleasure of speaking with your Hyena on my show.
So you'll know one thing. We only care for violence. We want the world to burn and rebuild it as our own.
But there is one person I plan on having on my show.
And who is this? Indulge me. Somebody who had to steal Diamond Dallas's page spade to make a triangle. Wow. Better yet, Shayna Baszler's. But that's probably because, well, he's nothing but a bitch. He can never be like H. Here's a little
He's a
history
pharaoh.
lesson.
He's a pharaoh, a ruler.
Doesn't really rule anything because here's a little history lesson. Watch WTF. Watch H and Hyena. See who we beat for the tag titles. Newsflash. It was
I
a
did.
guy named Jiggy and it was a guy named Pharaoh. Pharaoh didn't take the pin. You're right. But in the history books, that's all that matters. Pharaoh lost. He already lost to a god, to a hyena.
But the God and the Hyena, they did not pin the pharaoh.
Do you think John Cena goes home and says, well, I wasn't pinned? That doesn't count. No. He still goes home, cries like a little bitch. Newsflash, newsflash. I hate John Cena. Glad what Gunter did. Anyways, he still went home, cried like a little bitch, and said, well, I'll get him next time. And maybe that's all Pharaoh has to do. Tap on his back, say, I'll get him next time. But there won't be a next time because I pay the big bucks. I pay the next challenger. I pick them out. Not the head of the company, not anyone else. Me.
So when you are approaching or have talent approach you, how do you interact with each wrestler? Do you like approach each person differently, adopting your style to match theirs, or do you maintain the collective persona no matter who you're with or managing?
Listen, if they want a little bit of my money, they have to match me. I'm not stooping below me. They have to go up and above. You understand, I make so much money that I have a Yorkie. I
But
own a Yorkie.
you look,
Something
but
you
you,
probably will never.
but but hear me out. You look at like the guy like Paul Heyman. Look how many times he's adapted himself to the people he's managed. He's been an advocate. He's been a wise man. He's been the oracle.
Okay, so if we're talking about manage and not picking out opponents for my God, of course. But then again, God can transform into anything, right?
Mhm.
So God only had to do a little adjustment. So did I. And we came to an understanding, if you will. And now look at us. We have 4 championships in the gods of Sengoku. 2 of
So,
which are Mr. H's babies. Soon to be 3.
and whose title does the God plan on taking this
You see, WWX made a mistake. they have a guy who cosplays as Batman named Isaac Wayne. Granted, he had great matches with the likes of Tommy Invincible and was stepped in the Rumble and won against Rhett Titus. Ugh, I hate that guy. I hate Tommy Invincible. Never show his signature pose in my face again.
You can't
Anyways,
hurt me.
another guy who had to steal something couldn't be original. Anyways, Isaac Wayne is a cosplaying Batman who has a championship, the Media Championship, that my God plans on taking.
So, what would you say, in your opinion, is the most challenging part of managing a wrestler during a live match, or like getting them to from show to show? Like, what is the hardest part?
The hardest part of, you said, managing the wrestler.
Mm-hmm. That coming out
Sorry,
in
I
the
can't.
ring,
I can't hear you over your country twang. My fault.
between coming out with them to the ring for a match, or getting them booked somewhere, or getting their travel arranged.
You know what? The hardest part with having them booked somewhere. Why? Because people are scared now. They see what we can do, and they are scared that if we step foot, we'll purge the whole promotion. We'll make it all ours. Look at Lucha Libre Promotions. Here's a little inside scoop. Mania weekend, we're booked in Paso Robles for Lucha Libre Promotions. You don't think for 1 second they're like, well, if we bring the Gods and Goku, they might want to take everything. And they're right. We want it all. Hyena wants to go against luchadors to rip off their mask and collect it for me. And
You say you
H,
want it all.
well,
You say y'all want it all. I I think you talk about stealing gimmicks. There's already someone that says we want it all, and that is the enforcer, the street king, Solo Sokoa.
another one. You know who's better than, dang, you're just listing all these Samoans. You know who's better than Zilla? Solo.
No,
Oh, no, you don't think so?
because I'll say this. I've said it once. I'll say it again. Solo was supposed to be the WWE version of Jacob Fatu.
I doubt it. See, you're brainwashed. I get it. You want to believe in what you believe in. But
No, because go look
Solo,
at Jacob. Look at Jacob, and look what Solo's trying to be. He's trying to be what Jacob is.
you know what? At the end of the day, look at me. I don't care about either of them. Like I said, I'll give props where props is due. Solo is better. Nobody can change my mind. However, at the end of the day, once again, I'm better than all of them. Call me egotistic. Call me dumb. Call me whatever you want. I am better. Join my tutelage and you'll see.
See, and there you go again. You're saying you're better than them. You're taking someone else's stick.
So now I can't use words from a dictionary.
That's
Something
not
you
what I'm saying.
probably never read.
But you're using the exact phrasing of one Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
My,
MJF.
my best friend, my very close friend.
Yes, I forget you're both New York boys. He's from Long Island.
You see, no, don't ever put me next to New York. New York is all about HIV, STDs, and cheap hookers. I'm all about money. I'm from Stamford, Connecticut.
Yes, you're from the same place as Hunter Hearst aka Paul Levin, the bald fraud, triple no.
You're just mad, just like everybody else, because you're not on the show. But that's okay. Because when I get there, I'll make sure I'll give you guys a big thumbs up while you're all the way in the cheap seats.
The cheap seats. Oh, see, here's a thumbs up. But if you recall, this thumbs up once go down to.
So you are also a ripoff. Now you're ripping off Batista. You know, first off,
Actually, if I'm ripping off anybody, it was Triple H that did that. Batista just dropped him.
first off, you promised me for this podcast you would send me a nice bottle of wine. I still haven't seen it. You said
Nice
that
bottle of wine. Where in this? Where on what planet did you speak to me about a bottle of wine? I don't recall this conversation.
I have the receipts, sir.
Seats. All I promised you was a spot on this show.
A show that I'm making glow now, right? Because I am a star. I am, you know what? Quoting MJF, I am better than you. If you were gone, I could run this show for you. But I don't want to do that. Why? Because I'm having fun with you. I love seeing you laugh because it shows that it's getting to you. I'm under your skin.
Under my skin. Under my skin. Son, you have to get up earlier in the morning to get under my skin that easy.
Of course, a guy who does dirty work. You probably play in the mud with your pigs, huh?
No,
You probably drink a nice glass bottle of whiskey, huh?
I drink whiskey. I also drink me a nice glass of ice cold sweet tea.
Poor country boy. You'll never understand the elegance of life.
Elegance. Now, see, to quote the phenomenal one, AJ Styles theme song, "Ain't nobody breaking this redneck." Who's the country boy is working overtime for it?
Do you have any better questions? My time feels really wasted when I could be making money.
All
So
right,
shoot.
you want a question? You want a question? Here's a question. What is your favorite aspect of playing a character? The mystery, the storytelling, or the fan interaction?
Can I just say all of it? I love all of it. But I'll give you one. Whatever. The fan interaction. I love seeing them boo me because I know they're truly booing themselves for how much of a loser each one of them are. They want to hate on guys that think smarter, that think better, that think bigger because they know they can never amount to that. They can never understand the true knowledge one has before realizing that they themselves are the problem and are losers.
Well, all right. Then here's another question for you. What are what are your personal goals? Like you as a manager and with your group, Hyena, the Oni God, and your monster that I've heard you speak of for the next year for 2026.
2026, Lucha Libre Promotions is getting purged. More promotions are getting taken over. Belts are coming to us. Money is being made. And most importantly of all, by the end of 2026, you will know who the collector, H, Hyena, and our secret weapon, a monster, if you will, are all about.
Okay. So, what advice would you give someone who wants to get involved in wrestling as a manager or a valet or as a just as a wrestler?
I will say, make sure that whatever you do, money is your goal. Don't care about what the fans think. Don't care about what the promoters think. Think about money. Does it draw? Does it make sense? I've had friends that I've cut because, well, they're losers. And they were like, oh, I want to be a wrestler. But guess what? All of their ideas were garbage. They could never draw like me.
So, say you ran across a fan today, or one of them watched this episode. If they wanted to support the collector, Hyena, and H, the Oni God, how could they go about doing that? Like, is there a merch store where they can buy merch to wear to show their support, or do y'all sell merch at shows, or like like have any way for them to support y'all besides buying their ticket to a show?
Merch at the shows. I'm making a new store online, tpublic.com. You know, somebody as cheap as yourself probably has heard of that store from before. But you can look me up on the collector, Deuce Ramos. And if anything, follow me on social media. That's where I post most of my stuff, as you know. And it has, it's just a simple V underscore collector DR.
Yep. So if you watch this episode, if you scan that QR code in your top left hand corner, it'll take you to the collector's Instagram.
Right. Thank you, good sir. See, I
And
could give props where props is due. I'm not such an asshole. I just don't like certain people. Sometimes you're on that list. You know what I mean?
so when you're choosing, like when you have a show or you're doing a promo video on social media, like how do you choose the outfit for that show or that promo to kind of like help prove your point, like to like if it's like a special
That's,
event or a special promo.
I see what you mean. See, my clothes has to represent the style we're going about. Are we here to kill? Well, not so much kill, but, make them cry, make them suffer. Are we here to entertain? Are we here to make money? Now, everybody, if you're not stupid, you know that the big word of the day is money. That's all I'm
Yeah,
about. So, suits like this, hey, hey boy, you'll never be able to pull off something like this. This came straight from Italy.
okay. So how did you first come across Hyena and the Only God? Like, what? How did y'all cross paths?
I was in the casino one day,
Hmm.
being a gambling man, and, never lost.
Yeah,
However, I kept playing, and then a strange wind came. I was like, all right. And this person, he showed up. I played him. He beat me. 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 The only one who's ever been able to beat me in a game of cards is a god, Mr. H.
yeah,
We got to talking over sake and wine and a little bit of whiskey and a long cigar.
yeah.
And we talked, and he said, well, I have a proposition. I have a team, but we need the right guy to manage us. And I said, look no further, for we are on the same brain length, the same wavelength. You never have to think about where your money is coming from again, or where the belts are coming from, because I will make sure that this team never has to go without gold on their waist again.
Okay.
Can I tell you a little something?
Yeah.
There's two things I like: money and shiny big toys. I call them
Well,
toys. Why? Because I'll toss them aside. The God loves them, but we just toss them aside because, well, we have a lot of them. And soon I'll have one of my own.
well, I want to thank you for coming on the show tonight and giving me some of your time. And I've enjoyed this conversation and hearing about how the collector came to be and how your group came to be, and just hearing about a little bit of the backstory of Deuce Ramos.
Thank you for having me. It was unfortunately my waste of time being here, but I do like you as a host. But next time, when you talk about wine, make sure it's delivered to my house before the podcast.
And as always, if you've watched any of my episodes before, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't yet, go make sure you scan this QR code in your top left hand corner. It'll take you straight to the Media Mania Podcast merch store. Make sure you pick up some Media Mania Podcast merch. Get you a T-shirt, get you a mug, get you a throw blanket, a hoodie, and if you see the Media Maverick out in the wild, make sure you say hello. Make sure you tell me one of your favorite episodes, one of your favorite posts you see me do,
Go
and
do that,
also,
imbeciles. Go follow this guy. He really needs it. He really needs the money. I mean, look at him. But also, who doesn't want to throw a blanket? I mean, it's kind of cold, and a guy who's made of money, I shouldn't be freezing. So I might have to copy one.
and if you haven't yet, make sure you scan that other QR code that I just switched them around. It'll take you right to the collector's Instagram page. Give them a follow and check out some of his content.
Thank you.
If you've watched the end of any episode in the past, you know how the ending's about to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been your host, as always, the Media Maverick Mike Weldon. This has been the Media Mania Podcast, and this has been my guest, the collector, Deuce Ramos.
Thank you, imbeciles. Now go about your day.